name is Herman. I work for the GSMA Association and I lead a global campaign on behalf of the industry to get more spectrum allocated to mobile. The reason why this is so important at this time is that in 12 months from now, an important conference will take place in Geneva where governments will come together to decide on the allocation of spectrum to mobile. In India, this is a particularly important issue. We see data traffic growing significantly. Many operators already experience double-digit numbers or doubling the data traffic growth year on year. And we see mobile broadband connections increase to 250 million by 2017. To enable this growth, which is often driven by video, we need to ensure that more spectrum gets allocated to the mobile industry to ensure that we can continue with the same, providing consumers the same experience as they have now. At the moment we're much more in a voice-driven environment. That is going to change and we'll see a much more data traffic-driven environment. The growth of mobile data traffic globally poses real challenges to the mobile industry, and India is a really good example of this. It is important that India takes a lead in the region but also globally and ensures that we achieve a fairer and better allocation of spectrum for our industry. To enable this, we're looking at a number of target bands, and my colleague Veena Rawat will talk about those bands.
I'm Veena Rawat. I'm Senior Spectrum Advisor for GSMA, and in order to meet this data traffic demand, there is need for long-term planning for the spectrum, and this long-term planning for mobile use is done at a conference called World Radio Conference. It is a conference held by the United Nations body, International Telecommunication Union. This conference will take place in 2015, exactly a year from now, where the decisions for providing additional spectrum for mobile services will be made. Hence, this conference is extremely important for mobile industry, and GSMA has identified 4 key bands with the focus on looking for support globally for these 4 key bands. Obviously, none of the bands are free because there are incumbents, there are major incumbents such as radars, broadcasters, satellite users, and we need to address the issue dealing with these incumbents in order to make the spectrum available for mobile broadband. The reason WRC-15 is critical for the mobile industry is because it takes about 8 to 10 years to bring the spectrum which gets provided by this WRC. It takes about 8 to 10 years to actually get that spectrum into use, get it deployed for the benefit of the consumers. So unless the right decisions are made about these key target bands at WRC-15, it will be late for the mobile industry to have access to this spectrum. Hence, WRC-15 is very critical for the mobile industry, and we are looking for India's support for these 4 key bands GSMA is proposing for this season at the WRC-15.
So which are these 4 bands?
These bands are, GSMA is thinking for these 4 bands in the context of the bands which will provide the coverage and as well as the capacity. So the bands are what we refer to as sub-UHF, which is the band next to the 700 MHz band, which is being considered for mobile broadband now, and it will be opened up in India soon. And then the next band is what we refer to as the L band. It's in the 1.5 GHz range. Then it's in the 2.7 GHz range. It's the 3rd band, which is the high capacity band. And the last band is currently used by satellite services, and it's referred to as C band. It's in the 3.4 to 4.2 GHz range.
Do we have enough devices in this band?
It's a chicken and egg situation. The devices come once the allocations are made. So WRC-15, if the right decisions are made at WRC-15, then if the allocations are made, then the standards are developed and the whole ecosystem starts flowing, and the devices and the infrastructure gets developed.
Has any country has come forward to release this kind of band?
Yes, in the sub-UHF band there are proposals now within the Americas by Canada, US and Mexico. They have made proposals to release these bands on a globally harmonized basis for mobile broadband use. Similarly, there is support in the 1.5 GHz L band from New Zealand, Vietnam and a couple of other countries within the Asia Pacific region, which India belongs to. And there is already, at WRC 2007, there was already decision made to release part of the spectrum in about half the UN members, about 90 countries out of the 193 countries. And now we are looking for extending that spectrum to add additional capacity in that C-band. In the 2.7 GHz band, the work is going on really to understand what the current usage of the band is, and depending on the current usage, we are going to be looking for support for the development of appropriate input contributions to the regional meetings.
Yeah. It's probably fair to say, or to add to this, not every country has made up its mind. There's still 12 months to go, but time is running fast. So it's crucial for us as an industry that we raise awareness and we speak to regulators and governments, not only in India but also in other key markets, to make them understand how data traffic is growing, what the spectrum requirements are going to be in future, and to Veena's point, talk about these critical bands for us, which will, provided the spectrum being released on a harmonized basis globally, provide the economies of scale and for the ecosystem, as Veena said, to flow.